There's my Lee girl. Jasmine, I have been making, you should go look at my most recent TikTok video. I posted a video of all the things that I've made on crochet. You should look at the first 3 things. I've started making these shrugs. So it's like literally just from here to here, and it's like sleeves. Dude, they're so cute. You would love them. They would look good on you. But then again, everything looks good on you because you got a cute little body. These just really not working well.
Fine Thursday. Welcome to the people who are just joining from my other premiere that I just premiered. That video was supposed to be like a few minutes long and come out way earlier today, and then I just ended up taking so much longer than I expected on it. So here we are. I decided to just redirect into this video here. Hello everybody. Hello. Okay, so I thought today we would talk about something that is still very much in the Diddy web of things. And I say the Diddy web, but I'm talking about the web. You know, Diddy's in it, but the whole reason I started calling it a web is because people would say, oh, it's like like a pyramid scheme, like there's these pyramids. Like, not really, like, kinda, it is hierarchical, but there's like a lot of it's not just up and down, it's all kinds of interactions and intersections. All y'all are so sweet. Thank you. So nice. Okay, so that being said, you know, Diddy is the topic of the last couple of months. I mean, not the only topic. I've obviously talked about other stuff, but Diddy, you know, if you really like scale it back, Sean Diddy becomes one of his primary means of not only becoming famous but also making money was being a music mogul. Originally, he was like in some type of artist recruitment role, and then he moved up eventually, obviously, to owning his own record label, Bad Boy Records. Okay, so yeah, exactly. They're like little sneaky snakes. So there's other people who are in this category too, like really rich person who owns, among other businesses, a record label. Another person in this category is, or at least was, Russell Wendell Simmons of Def Jam Recording, Def Jam, whatever. He's over there in the Leor Cohens of it all. And so I covered a few months ago, maybe a few weeks, few months, I don't know what it's time, a lawsuit that was made against Russell Simmons, this, you know, former, or maybe current still, I think he's still the owner of Def Jam. I think so, right? Yeah. Hold on, I get. Okay, he dipped. They're saying he doesn't own it anymore. Okay, thank you, Jules. Okay, so I was mistaken. I said I could be, and in fact I was. But he was like one of the 3 people that started it, I think. He's a mogul in his own right as well. He had management companies, talent management companies, and there's a lot about him I had no idea about. And so a few months ago, I covered a lawsuit, you know, told you about a lawsuit. It was public, state lawsuits between Russell Simmons and Drew Dixon. Drew Dixon is a music industry powerhouse in her own right as well. She used to work for Russell Simmons. She used to work for L.A. Reid. So she has like 3 maybe 4 different lawsuits going on with just Russell Simmons, because she had originally him for like under the gender motivated violence, like S assault, whatever. But also now there's a defamation lawsuit going on. There's also maybe, was it something in maybe perhaps federal court? I don't know. There's a lot of overlapping lawsuit action going on between Russell Simmons and Drew Dixon. Now, Russell Simmons, for his own part, and I already have made videos about this, so I'm not going to get too much into the actual background of these lawsuits. Today, I just want to read through the deposition. It's going to take a long time. It's 143 pages, okay? We're going to be here for a while. So I don't want to get too hung up in the front end on, all the different procedural stuff specifically, especially because I already made a video about some of this stuff already. So just to give you the short enough so we could start where, put you in the context story version. There's a few different lawsuits going on between Drew Dixon and Russell Simmons, but there is also a separate different lawsuit going on coming from Russell Simmons related to a lot of this same stuff. And that is a defamation lawsuit against the Warner Brothers company for a documentary. Now, the documentary, I think it came out 2019, 2020, I don't know, maybe 2022. Something like, a few years ago, this documentary came out, and basically it was like a surviving Russell Simmons documentary. There were 6 alleged purported victims, and they spoke out against behaviors that they purported that Russell Simmons did inflict upon them, I guess. All allegations, these things are getting sorted out in court. Russell Simmons has denied these allegations, but that kind of brings us to the crux of the legal disputes between Drew Dixon and Russell Simmons, and that is this documentary. It kind of started it all. This documentary, it was produced, and it basically made Russell Simmons look pretty bad, and there was allegations made by people who purported that he had harmed. He's an abuser, #MeToo. So he, to my knowledge, he doesn't sue anybody for defamation at that point. I don't know if he threatened to sue people or not. I'm really not sure. But from what I am aware of, he didn't sue anybody. Now, a little bit of time goes by, and then we get a lawsuit from Drew Dixon against Russell Simmons for alleged purported assault incidents whenever she was working with or for him. Now, a bunch of stuff starts spinning off in the weeds with that because it's all this jurisdictional stuff. But in the course of before the lawsuit even came up, there was a lot of sideshow media attention going into this Oprah and her involvement in the documentary. And Oprah had to pull out of the documentary because the victims weren't credible. That was the gossip. And Russell Simmons kind of perpetuated, that gossip as well. He kind of said, ask Oprah why she had to pull out of the documentary. Now, Oprah then came out publicly, had a conflicting story, and she was like, no, that's not why I had to pull out. Both of them were kind of throwing each other under the bus publicly. And Russell Simmons finally comes out. He does this interview with this Graham Messenger. I think he did 2 interviews within the scope of about a year to a year and a half, but one comes that issue. He finally decides to take a stand and say his side of the story on this podcast. And this is just from blurry out of my memory, all from months ago, so I might be getting some of the key details wrong. This is just to give you enough context for the transcript we're going to read. I do encourage you to read these yourself. Go watch that other video I already made. I may be getting some details wrong. I'm really just doing this off the top of my head, memory, just the gist. So he does this interview. In the interview, public interview, Russell Simmons says, some stuff about the accusations. He kind of beats around the bush, but you can kind of tell what he's trying to say. He's like, I've had a lot of relations with a lot of women in my life. I used to be a playboy. I don't live like that anymore, whatever. But I used to have a lot of relations, and could it be the case that some of the people that I was with maybe left the experience feeling different than I did? Maybe whatever, you have 6 people that are talking about these allegations, and I have never wanted to hurt anybody in my life, but that's just not true that I ever did anything again, whatever, just the general, the general. Well, the statements he made in that interview, that got him sued. Okay, Drew Dixon said, no, enough is enough. Now, not only am I suing you for SA, now I'm also suing for defamation, because it was obvious who you were talking about in that interview, because I was one of the 6 people who made allegations about you. And the fact you're calling me a liar and saying that never happened, now I'm suing you for defamation too. Okay. So in the course of these lawsuits, a few major issues have come up. One major issue is the most hilarious to me, but also unfortunate. And that is that Russell Simmons he missed the court date for arguing to dismiss the defamation case. He missed it, his lawyers missed it, they all missed it. Russell Simmons and his lawyers missed the court date to stand up and argue on whether or not the judge was going to throw the whole case out. Drew Dixon's lawyers had come in from DC on the train. It was a whole thing. So basically the last few months, they've just been going back and forth whether or not the judge is going to let them make those arguments that they missed on that day. There was a court hearing yesterday in this case. Let me pull up the screen. Okay. Wait, what did my banner say? I have the wrong one up. Okay, here, that's the right one. That was not the right banner up. There's 11 minutes. Okay, so this is the one of the docket pages for one. This is the docket page for one of these cases that's going on between Drew Dixon and Russell Simmons. This one is case index number, this one is in the New York Supreme Court Civil Division. Year filed was 2024. If y'all want to look this up yourself, it's public information. It's free. You can look it up. This is on the iapps.courts.state.ny.us. Index number 151.431/2024. That is like the year 2024. Okay, and as you can see, appearance date, today is the 17th, Thursday, July 17th. So yesterday they had a court date. Now, I've looked for any filings in there. Nothing is up yet, so I don't know what happened in court yesterday. Looking forward to find out. But yesterday, what the hearing was supposed to be about was supposed to be about the judge hearing oral arguments over whether or not to allow Russell Simmons' lawyers to do their arguments on the motion to dismiss. So there's a lot of procedural things to work out while that gets sorted out. But there's another case. This one is, let me pull it up, also in the New York Supreme Court, but this is a different case number. Year filed is 2025. This is index number 1533/2025. This one is Jane Doe, but it has been referenced back and forth with the other filings, so I was able to, I'm pretty sure this is also Drew Dixon. But there were some things that were filed in this case last month, and that leads us to the purpose of today's video finally, okay? There were some things filed in this court case last month, and this one is the one, it's Jane Doe. Last appearance, the last appearance date was last month. And there were some things that were filed. Let me just zoom in. I don't know if y'all were able to see, if it was too small to see earlier. Here's the index number if you want to take a screenshot. Okay. So in some documents filed last month, about June 4th to be exact, it's public document. Okay, I didn't have to pay for this one. This one was free. There is just sitting right there a transcript of Russell Wendell Simmons. Just sitting right there. And it's seemingly completely unredacted. It's public. And I'm like, why isn't anyone making a video about this? Look it up, maybe my search, it wasn't working good or something. I don't know. But I have it here. We're going to read it today. All right, we're going to read it. Natalia said that's her birthday. Okay. So it's Exhibit J, docket number 40 in that case. If you're looking for the specific docket number, it's docket number 40, docket item number 40.